It's big small talks with Chucky, me and you. It's big small talks, BSing with the group. It's big small talks, expanding points of view. It's big small talks. It's big small talk.
It's been one today.
Dude, it's always something.
There's always something.
Like sometimes the mics aren't in the right spaces. The lights aren't working sometimes, and then today the OBS, the streaming software,
Yeah,
just didn't want to.
wasn't working.
It wasn't responding.
It wasn't even like opening up like in the Apple applications. When you click on the icon, it kind of starts to bounce up a
It's
little
bouncing.
bit,
Yeah, it's getting excited.
and it just kept going. It wouldn't stop bouncing. It's like,
I
what's
was-
going on?
When you left to go to the restroom, I was just watching it because I was like, well, maybe if we just stand a little bit.
Yeah,
And I could swear it was getting slower and slower. It was like
he's getting tired. He's like,
like-
you know what? Like, quit
He's
me out.
it was like looking me in the face, like I'm not opening.
Yeah, so I had to uninstall it, reinstall it,
Like
I had-
4 times.
four
right?
times,
Like
yeah.
4 times.
and that was gonna be the last time I was gonna do it. I was gonna say, you know what? We're not recording it today. We're not doing it.
I was thinking like maybe we just let it rest.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
start tomorrow.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, technically that shouldn't work, but just weird things happen.
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, it makes me kind of think that, I mean, especially like Apple systems probably have like a heartbeat of its own or a brain of its own.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's just I get so frustrated with technology because like it technically shouldn't be giving me these issues because it's
Technically.
so new.
Yeah. It's
All this stuff is brand new.
yeah. I
some
guess
of
that's
it-
I guess
some of
that's
it's-
what the geniuses are for because
Yeah.
it's prone to problems.
Yeah.
I wish it was more convenient though, right? Like if you had your own
Genius,
guy like
yeah.
on call.
All the time.
Hey man,
Hey
like
Stuart.
I'm paying you, so like you have to answer. Like you
Yeah.
could be at a wedding or whatever, but like this thing's happening.
Yeah.
But I think they probably can't. Like they have to be on the clock. Like they have to be on their own system to so it could be monitored. I would think.
Yeah. I don't know.
But we got
There
it
would
going.
be there would be too many if you had that, there would be too many like people that don't have real issues that would just be calling them up for nothing. You know,
Yeah.
because they've already even downsized with their like genius staff. They have where you can do messages, kind of like an automated message. You write in your message and then they write back, or you can do a phone call because you used to have to always go into the actual
Mm.
Apple store.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but now they do phone calls, they do messages, and then only then if you need to go in for like a checkup, like they'll set you up with an appointment. But it used to be like you used to be able to just walk in there and be like, "Hey, like my Apple thing is like not working, you know. Can you help me out?" And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, let's take a look at it." But now it's just so backed up because so many people are just constantly asking for help with little baby things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's almost it was I'm sure easier for them when people didn't even really know they could do that, like to get help.
yeah, right, yeah.
So
It is what it is.
yeah, we got it going.
We got it going.
after a while. So,
Yeah.
so Charlie's still in Hawaii.
I guess I didn't know that he was going to be out for 2.
Yeah,
he
like
never said-
conveniently
yeah.
right,
Yeah,
like
he
around
ne-
this time.
yeah, he never said that he was going to be out for 2. So that was just
Yeah,
yeah, whatever.
communication error.
It's
But-
cool. It is what it is. We're
Yeah,
here.
We'll be back.
Yeah. Well, he'll be back next week with tons of stories, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so
That's the hope.
I'm struggling a little bit today too because of this weekend. Yeah, I got trashed. I got absolutely demolished.
It was unexpected too.
It was
right?
unexpected. That was like
Maybe that's
that was
why.
like a perfect storm. Like I just wasn't expecting to do that, and that was the old me. The old me came out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was ironic too because it's like it's the first time you've been to that house. So it was like the first time you met that group, it was the first time you went to that house and
Yeah.
they found you
Yeah,
on the side of the curb.
yeah. I mean, I've been to that house before. I've kicked it there and everything, but I just
Uh-huh.
haven't like drank there. It was our buddy's birthday, 30th birthday.
Dirty 30.
Yeah, dirty 30. So we had to celebrate correctly. And everything was going good. Everything was fine. We watched a hockey game, barbecued burgers. We played some cornhole, and then probably around 11:30 was when I called you.
Yeah.
Yeah, at night, and we were playing putt-putt in the living room. We just got a red Solo cup, and we had a putter, and we were just shooting around. Called my brother up, and I don't remember anything after that.
I know. I just got home from hanging out with Sophie and her family. Just getting ready for bed, just looking forward to a good night's sleep, which I don't normally do. And then I just get this very energetic, like too much energy, like phone call. Not like, hey, what are you doing? Like, come over. It's like, just started calling me a bitch immediately. And he didn't even say, he's like, Jacob said,
Yeah.
like, the word on the street is.
Well, because he was feeding me. He was feeding me words.
He was feeding you. That's the statement of the night.
Yeah.
Like whenever he would say or do something, then
Yeah.
it was gonna happen. So I was only there for like not even 2 hours.
Really?
No. So
Damn.
we just started playing PP, and then you guys finished the tequila, like out of nowhere. Like it just like it was very like, oh, we started the second one because we finished a Patron earlier in the day. So you started the second, and I had one shot, and I was just drinking beer.
Yeah.
And then it just got to a point where you started bringing out like, what else do we have? And then Tyler brought rum, and me and him looked at each other like, we're not touching that.
Yeah.
And then when you guys lost that third game,
we played 3 games.
Yeah, it was 2-1. So
gosh.
you guys didn't do that bad, honestly. We were
Really?
we were all pretty level.
Oh, I don't even remember making a single. I don't remember playing beer pong.
Dang.
Yeah. So I cashed out long before that.
It was funny because
was I like that super obnoxious Austin?
Kinda.
Like was I just yelling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nothing too crazy. Like it was almost refreshing to see. Like, oh, I haven't seen this one in a while.
Yeah.
And just because you and Jacob just egg each other on, and it didn't like go overboard. It was like pretty like level.
Yeah.
Again, in my eyes, because I've seen it get crazy. But it was funny because we ended up closing the garage door.
Yeah.
And you guys would just periodically just run into it, like back up into it, and Tyler just would say the same thing. Guys, my garage. Guys, like he would just say it like almost like a dad, dad saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And because when that happened,
because like you didn't want he probably didn't want us to dent his garage.
Yeah, and it just makes a noise, like just this banging, like echoey sound. Like he's like, guys, I have neighbors. But he was laughing the whole time. I was too.
Because I lost my glasses. I can't. I don't know if they're over there. I'm gonna maybe try to go over there later on. Yeah, they have to be there.
Didn't go.
Like we didn't leave, right?
You didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, they have to be there somewhere. Yeah, I woke up. I woke up on the bathroom floor in a puddle of my own puke, and I was using the carpet, the rug as a blanket.
I've done that before. That's what it's there for.
Yeah. And I did not know where I was at, dude. I mean, it was like a it was a very abrupt, like I don't know what I was dreaming. I don't know what, but I was like okay. Like, and it took me like a little bit of just like, okay. Yeah. Okay. This has happened before. Like you're not new to this. And then it quickly went from the realization of where I was at to, oh my God, I have to clean this up because it was just.
I don't know whose bathroom this is, but I have to clean it.
Yeah, I'm not leaving this place until I clean up my mess. So at first I was using toilet paper, but the toilet paper wasn't really working. And then mind you, you're still drunk.
You're not.
Like I'm not fully like capable of making these correct decisions on how to effectively clean this. And so then I'm like, okay, wait. These tissues aren't working. Let me go see if I can find some paper towels and some cleaning spray. Go to the kitchen, and then I close the door behind me, and I'm like spraying all over the walls, and I had to clean up everything. I missed. I missed quite a bit, and and then I finally am like kind of like getting like ready to like kind of get out of there, and I thought I was being like quiet and gonna be able to sneak out of there, and then the owners of the home, she was just like, "Hey, you doing there, bud?" I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I don't
You
know what
caught
else
me.
to say. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. And it was funny because we were saying like, yeah, like at least you didn't like drive. I was like, I wouldn't have been able to. I was like, where's Jacob at? And she was like, oh, he Ubered home. I was like, okay, whatever. All right, well, I got to get out of here because I was gonna try to go to church in the morning. Like, I was.
That's what you said that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I was gonna try to do that, and so I'm trying to accumulate all my stuff. I grabbed the carpet and the towel because I was like, I'm not gonna have you wash this. Like, I'm gonna take it home and wash it. So I'm like holding this towel of puke, and then we open the front door, and Jacob's passed out in his front seat in his car. And
Jacob move.
Yeah. I had parked behind his car, so like he didn't leave, and so I just knocked on the door or the window, and he like woke up, and he just started laughing too. And I was like, dude, what like where'd you go last night? What'd you do? And he's like, dude, I have no idea. And she was like, I thought you Ubered home. And he's like, no. So
Well, he said that your car was behind him, so like there's nothing he could really do.
he wouldn't have been able to drive, which is great. But also, he said he was going to Uber home. He didn't say he was going to drive home.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, yesterday was rough. All I did was sleep. I couldn't move. I couldn't move without not wanting to puke. I haven't been that hungover in a long time.
Yeah. So your body just rejecting everything.
Yes.
All your bad decisions.
Yeah. So I'm still feeling sluggish, and I'm blind. Can't see right now. So
Fucking hot mess, man.
so this was not helping today.
Yeah.
All this technology issues, but hey, it is what it is.
You live and learn, you know.
Bigger, better, stronger.
Yeah, you think like all your blackouts are behind you, but just
Really,
one
honestly.
day, just it could just go totally wrong.
I just wasn't expecting to black out yesterday or the other day.
Well, I mean, when you have someone that
True.
eggs you on,
True.
and you're the type where like you're just gonna like go with it, you know.
It has to do with the comfortability of the place that I was at. Like I knew I was like at a place where I could just crash. You know, there was no like I'm gonna have to drive home or like there was none of that. And also like I know they take care of us.
Yeah.
So it is what it is over there. But yeah, and it was his birthday. So it was like, and because we were the only ones like there to celebrate with him, so it was like, oh, like we have to show him a good time. You know what I'm saying? So like, it is what it is. But yeah, my throat was like hurting the next morning, so that's how I knew I threw up a lot.
Damn.
Yeah, I felt like I was breathing fire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since mine.
Yeah.
I think mine the last time was for Brennan's show in Pomona.
Oh yeah.
Back in 2000, I think it was 2017. Yeah. It was like August. It was like starting the school year.
That's when he sang for YL.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got too thirsty for Tennessee Honey early on. Took a whiff of a cigarette later when we got in, and that was it.
Yeah.
Lights out.
That was an interesting time. This dude was acting a fool that we had to go to the bathroom, and he made it and it was fine, but then he was on the way out, there was a trash can there, and he ended up like barfing in the trash can.
Smart of me, I think.
Yeah, it was a great move. But then the bouncer dude that was right there was like, "Yo, man, you got to take care of your friend." And then I'm like, "Well, like he's throwing up. Like, what do you want me to do?" He's like, "You guys got to leave." I was like, "All right, dude." And I was like, "Yo, bring the trash can." And this venue was like on the rooftop, so we had to go down 3 sets of stairs. And Loren's just carrying this trash can down. Just,
I'm blacking out. I'm blacking out.
I will make it. And then we just left the trash can on the side of the venue.
Hey, I mean,
that's all you needed it for, is just to get down the stairs.
I don't even think it was that late.
No, dude. It like Brendan hadn't even gone on yet.
Yeah, it was probably not even midnight, I would assume.
No. We had just gotten in there. We had just gotten
Like
in there,
at 9 or something
and
like that.
Brennan had, And then, because I remember I took you to the car, and I was like, "All right, you need to like pass out here, because like I'm gonna go back up." And then, I went back up, and then I took you home. I ended up like leaving them. I took you home, went back to pick them up, and then left again, so that they were able to watch the show. But yeah, I ended up taking you home. Yeah, that was wild.
It's crazy how, I mean, those moments don't happen often, but it's always premeditated. Like this is just gonna. This
Depends
is
on who you are, though.
this is just gonna be, you know, a typical night. And then, yeah, there's just sometimes just the liquor just comes over. You get this confidence, and you want to just keep.
Yeah, because you always. Well, I won't say always, but like for a majority of the time, you're able to like keep your act together. You know what I'm saying? And you do this time and time and time and time again. You go to a show, you pregame, you have a cigarette, like you do whatever it is that you do. You have your routine, and there's just those days where like you just kind of like miscalculate, and then once that miscalculation is done, you've then overgone your like able to make good decisions self. So like you've passed it, and then you just keep on going on, and then you're feeling good. So.
Yeah. Well, because I know the cigarette really pushed me over the edge to like just make everything happen in a split second. So if I never did that, I wonder if I just would have been like, and if I would have stopped drinking, if I just would have
okay.
like, or at least because I was belligerent, but if I would have just stayed belligerent the whole time, which may have been worse because I could have just like annoyed everybody and like, you know. So.
You weren't annoying though. You were drunk. You know, like you were just drunk. Like I don't know how to say it. But like I know what you're saying with it's funny how like with the cigarette, how slight of a head buzz you'll get like when you're sober. Like sometimes when you smoke a cigarette, like you don't even feel anything. It is what it is, you know, because you've done it so many times. But then when you're under the influence of alcohol and then you have like one or two puffs, the head change and the dizziness that you get and the oh, whoa, this is not a good idea. Like in like a matter of like a second, like you're saying, it's wild.
Well, I mean, we don't have to worry about that anymore.
We do not.
Because we don't smoke them ciggies.
No, we do not.
For a while.
It's been a minute.
And I don't miss them for a lot of reasons.
Same.
I guess. I mean, mainly because I think of the addiction and that it became normal. Right. It wasn't like I miss it being this thing I did maybe once a month.
Yeah.
It was like, it was something that like was kind
every
of
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's also just the health, I guess, defects, which for I think a lot of us, we don't really feel, I guess, yet anyway.
Right.
But it was just more of knowing this is probably not going to be a good road.
I didn't like being like a closeted smoker. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like having to be like secretive about it and like feeling shameful about it. And because it like did legitimately like kind of gross me out. Like I wasn't like I was like fond of it or excited to like tell the world like, oh, like by the way, like I smoke cigarettes or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It just fit the narrative of like where I was at with what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So when I was making music, when I was partying, when I was going to shows, like it was fine. Everybody was doing it. Like it was a conversation starter. Like it was going to happen. So like whatever. But then outside of that, like space, like at work, like it's not like I was smoking on like lunch breaks or 10-minute breaks. I wasn't really like doing it when I was living here at home. But then once we moved over to the Walnut House and like it just became like a constant because we were all three smoking. I mean, the reasons to smoke just opened up to I'm stressed, so I'm going to smoke, or I'm tired, so I'm going to smoke, or I'm just waking up, so I'm going to smoke, and I'm drinking, so I'm going to smoke. And so it kind of went on this crazy train to where like once we moved back here, it feels nice not to.
Yeah. Well, it got normal.
Mm-hmm.
So and then it becomes a routine.
100%.
Right. And you look forward to the routine.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was able to break that, vape for a while. And which we, like, I think justified of doing it because it's like, well, it's not as harmful.
bad. Yeah.
But then it became much more used
Right.
because you could be inside and just like, psh, psh,
Yeah,
like
just be
puff,
hitting
puff,
that
puff.
thing. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then you started closeting that. And
Right.
when you start doing that, that's not
Right.
right. Like if you
Yeah.
really owned it, like
Yeah.
then just do it. But then
Right.
that's not what we
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
That's not what I wanted to do.
But I think I was definitely like in the next step of like quitting like nicotine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like the smoking first, and then being off of that for a little bit with the little vape thing, and then it kind of had to get to that point of like, oh, this is way too normal, and now you're just doing the exact same thing with this little vape that you were with the cigarettes, if not more. And you couldn't even justify the price change either, because those were actually more expensive.
The vapes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
the
almost
small ones,
it's like 16,
16.
20 bucks. Whereas a pack of cheap cigs, you're maybe looking at like 10 bucks.
Yeah, 9
$8.
bucks. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, I never smoked a lot.
Right. So that would
Like,
last
so
me
that
at
would
least
last-
2 weeks.
Where the vape,
It's like a week.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, psh, 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 like
Yeah,
just
exactly.
knocking it
Yeah.
out.
So I was like, okay, well, you're inhaling more now for sure, more constantly, and you're spending more money. So like, this is not really doing what you need it to do. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's dial back now. So
I think it's crazy. Like when I get down to it, it's that I like the subtle, I guess, stimulation
right.
that, I guess so. Like for vaping, it's just something like you could be watching TV and just that little like, oh, everything's great, but if I just had that little extra thing to just kind of buzz me out,
Right.
like I guess that's really what it goes down to.
Well, it's the constant chase of a high. You
Yeah.
know, there's always something that's going to be enhanced if you get this one little thing, you know, and that's why it sounds so good when you're drinking, you know, because like it will enhance your drunk, you know, and so yeah, it's just that constant chase of stimulation.
Yeah, if I could just go to a fucking island or something where it's like I just am forced to just not like just to get rid of like any inhibition for any of those habits.
Right.
But I guess that's still in your own power. Like I can't complain about because I could do those things, but I always justify doing them, like just to go drinking or anything like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think when you go through that kind of stuff, a little bit different with the alcohol. It's just weird because alcohol is so approved of.
yeah. Everybody
does it. So like you could be the worst with your drinking habits and with your how much you purchase it on a weekend or how much you drink it during the week, and really nobody's going to say anything
as
about
long
you.
as you're not doing anything, like you're not hurting anyone,
Right.
or like really getting blacked out,
Right.
then it's almost okay.
Right.
So so you being like a closeted alcoholic who's functional,
Right.
like it's not really you're just
chilling.
kind of you're under the radar.
Right. But with the cigarette smoking or even like weed, for example, they smell it on you. You know, you start to get like gross breath and teeth, and then it's just always on your clothes. It's always on your
you don't
body.
really
and-
smell or notice it as much.
You
Like,
don't.
Someone might, and you're like, oh,
No, they definitely do.
Yeah,
No,
they
they definitely do.
haven't smoked at all today, but they may smell.
No, they definitely have.
So it's a good position for us like now. Like
Yeah.
I think if this was back in like the 70s, 80s or something like that,
Mhm.
it'd almost be like it would be like drinking. I feel like it'd be that normal because like everyone's
Everybody's doing
dad or mom smoked and whatnot. So
Right.
it's just the next step. Where
Yeah.
now it's like ostracized, which is good. You know,
Yeah.
we're kind of getting better. So
Yeah. It's going to be interesting in the next couple of years to see what the research and data shows that these vapes are doing long term. Because, we haven't really had any, they haven't been out long enough
yeah,
to really see the long-standing side effects.
yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see that, especially just knowing the fact that like when you do have those, like those rigs that those guys have, like those big crazy rigs that just
yeah.
like a fucking helium balloon,
Vape-
dude. And
what do
just,
they call them, the vape gods? Or,
Yeah.
like the guys that have like compilations of
or like they do the tricks
videos.
and stuff.
yeah,
do the
they have
tornadoes.
a glass table. and they're
Yeah.
just like,
Big old cloud, bruh.
this is the python.
Yeah. Yeah, like man, you got to think those guys are not going to be chilling when they get older.
Well, I mean, it's just, all this chemicals,
That's what I'm saying.
The nicotine in itself, I don't think it's innately that harmful, but then the addictiveness of it,
Right.
it's, like any drug, it's reassessing how you get serotonin
Right.
to your brain. So then that's, I think, like what really drives, and you want to keep doing it and doing it.
Right.
I guess it's like sugar too, in a way, like how it just eats itself up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Speaking of those addictives, we were kind of like talking about this before because my family's been super into these Coca-Cola zero sugar, and I like these cherry ones.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's so good. And I was just thinking like today, like they's got to be bad for you. Like they can't.
It's
like
made by Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Like it can't like be okay. Like they really
can't be the best.
It can't be good for you. So what is it that makes it bad? And we were just reading that it messes up your what is it called? You said
the gut biome.
The gut biome, and then it could possibly make you more capable of getting type 2 diabetes. Could help with increasing your risk of getting heart and kidney disease.
Yeah,
So,
I think it just kind of, if you drink a lot of it, it just kind of rewires a lot of how your immune system is and how it generates nutrition.
and it's just so dangerous because the way that people perceive those is that, oh, it's not as bad as Coke, so I can drink it more. That's the way I would think about it if I didn't like.
Well, and then like our dad, he's like, yeah, I've read articles, but like it's all conflicting, and I don't know what to believe. It's like, I mean, if just a couple said that it's harmful, I would at least limit it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it, like, if you just drink 1 or 2 a week, probably won't be that bad for you. But if it's like every day,
It's a daily thing, though.
Yeah,
It's a daily thing with these drinkers. You know what I'm saying?
These damn drinkers.
These damn drinkers. Because like the way, because the way that I was thinking about it was, so because I stopped drinking beer like at home, right? So I'll still drink beer, but I don't bring it home, and I try not to drink at the house like during the week, just because I'm trying to be productive. But I ended up replacing my beer drinking with those like Topo Chicos, which is just carbonated water. But those the repercussions of those is you have to be taking calcium supplements because it's bad for your gums, your teeth, and for your bone marrow. Yeah, so I'm like, oh,
Fuck up your face.
Yeah, so it's like honestly, like there's just a fine balance between all of this shit, right?
I mean, if they're making drinks in a lab, right? Like that's what like soda is and stuff. It's like it can't possibly be good to be doing drinking all that like all the time.
It's
just because
damn, it's good.
Well, because just these brands have just marketed themselves so much and for so long,
right?
That we just like don't think twice, or even just alcohol, knowing how negative it is and how bad it is for your body.
Yeah,
like it's normal because it's on every TV station on a commercial or something,
right.
And everybody does it, and
right.
So like you were saying, if we're in 20 years from now, if we look back, it's like what things that are we doing now that they're gonna deem as like what, like you guys did that shit all the time, every day.
Yeah,
like there has to be something. It could be the diet stuff.
Yeah,
it could be alcohol, but I'm sure a lot of it's still gonna be persistent. There must be someone too that's like an alcoholic, loves drinking, that's like a scientist and wants to create almost like a remedy like pill. They kind of have those like to hydrate you. It's like the electrolytes that are supposed to kind of cure hangovers.
Oh yeah, like an IV.
But like that,
it's like a pill form IV.
Exactly. So there must be someone that just is like almost rewires your body to forget what it did to you, like the trauma, you know, so you don't get withdrawals or whatever.
Right.
So,
and then it just juices you up with a bunch of water and hydrates you and stuff.
Yeah. But then I feel like some people would get addicted to that. You're
Well,
like, I
because it would
love
almost
being
be
hydrated.
like that whole like cocaine and alcohol mixture that people like fall in love with, because it's like stimulating, then evens out, then
Yeah.
and
I think your body is like not, like something like 85 or like 90% water.
uh-huh.
So maybe if people started doing that hydration thing and
Yeah.
like think they feel good, but like that's not natural to be that hydrated maybe all the time,
Right.
then they would probably become, I think it's called like hydrophobic or
Yeah,
something.
can't you die from being overly hydrated? Like
I think
you can
so.
actually drink too much water, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
So there's just, the fact that like we're able to just not like just to be rather healthy,
Yeah.
with some creaks and groans and stuff is like pretty
Yeah.
pretty
Pretty
sick.
solid. Yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Speaking of hydration, let's talk about this this EDC lineup, because this is a spot where you have to be hydrated. Let's see.
Yeah, or else you'll
else you'll
pass
just
out on the
die.
line, hit a chain fence,
Yeah.
get ferried in. But this was supposed to happen this past May,
Yeah.
like just a month before. So like in April they announced it, and just it was like people had different ideas about it because we thought it was too early, but they're like, we're gonna do it the safe way we can. But then last minute, the state of Nevada was like, nah,
No,
you
you're not
guys
doing
can't do that, which is probably
Probably a good thing.
idea.
Yeah, probably a good thing. Like, so they're doing it next year, or they're doing
No,
it
they're
this
doing
year.
it in October.
Oh, no way.
But what a lot of people got pissed about is that, so they said that they were going to do it in May, and so there was a large number of people that got plane tickets or got Airbnbs that were fully set and committed to going, and then they just announced like, sorry, we can't do it, and then people just lost a bunch of money from not being refunded, like Airbnbs and stuff. I think flights, it's like you get credits, but still, it just seemed like it was inevitable that they weren't going to do it. So,
I mean, it's kind of a hard place to like to be, because you can't really be responsible for people's Airbnbs.
yeah, it's not. It's
Right. It's not their
your
responsibility.
expense.
Yeah. And that those shows have the opportunity to probably change times or change dates or all that stuff. So they have those like it's like the insurance on your Airbnbs or your airport tickets or airplane tickets or whatever. Nobody ever buys that because you're like, it's $25 and I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen.
Mhm.
But that's exactly what that's for.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if the state gave them all this hope, like, you guys are outside, so, like I wonder
It's
what that
300,000 people though.
I just wonder what that communication though was like to give them, because I'm sure it's like, well, like we have to do this because like Insomniac,
Yeah.
this is how we make most of our money.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that and because no one else was doing it, there wasn't another festival that
Right.
big going on at that time.
Right.
But maybe they just knew it was going to happen and just gave hope, and then just would transfer those people to just come October, because that's what they did with the tickets. It's like
Yeah.
it just transfers over.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I don't have any bad will towards Pasquale or anything about that.
Right.
It's like, if you should, like as a person, you should just have known that's what was going to happen.
Right.
So,
I mean, and yeah, you can't please everybody. You're at the end of the day, you're just trying to get your business back up and running.
You can't
You know what
plur
I'm saying?
24/7 during a pandemic. Save that money.
I mean, to be honest, if I was him, I would have just postponed till next year.
Next year.
Yeah. 2022.
I probably would have done what in the fall. I would have done what he did with May. Be like, we're gonna say October. It may or may not happen, so we'll prepare kind of for both.
Yeah.
So if this was going the way it was going, right, like everything's going down, the numbers of cases.
Yeah, but
then
we just barely started showing like low case in numbers.
yeah,
And so I think what he should have done is probably what Coachella did. Coachella's doing it next year. They're waiting it out. And that that's going to come in with some heat. just boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Coachella's back because it's not even that far off now. May of next year.
Well, it's like if you just went.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
it's
exactly.
all
Now you
the
just gotta
summers.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you just gotta wait. But who knows? I mean, is there anybody on here that you would be excited about? You're not going to this, are you?
No.
No.
I mean, I applied as a production assistant
Oh
and
yeah,
a runner. It's like 2 different applications
Oh, yeah.
for the festival
that'd be cool.
in May. So I don't know if they're gonna keep that application
Yeah,
or maybe
yeah.
like it's done did.
Or maybe you have to apply again, reapply.
Yeah, I follow. It's called Festival Owl,
Okay.
and it just posts all these lineups and cancellations and stuff.
Yeah.
And it posted a story of Insomniac hiring.
Okay.
So I just went to go see what that was. So I just I did that.
Hopped on.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if it was a production assistant, like you're just running around like helping production during the festival. So
Yeah.
it'd be so fucking like surreal,
Yeah.
and to be there sober
Yeah.
would also be surreal as well.
Yeah.
I think. But man, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Man, this is
So
exhausting.
many people here. Fuck.
Yeah, but you'd probably get to work 2 days and have 1 day off, huh?
Maybe. And it's during setting up too. So like I would be there the week before and maybe the week after.
Mm.
So, and it would just be cool because obviously that's not a full-time thing.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, I love doing this, I love the people here, like it'd be sick to work nocturnal and then
Yeah.
escape and
Get
like all
in.
that stuff.
Get in like that. Interesting.
That'd be solid.
Yeah, that would be solid.
I would enjoy doing that.
I hope you get it.
I will get it.
Yeah. I hope you get it. I think that'd be really
I'll
cool.
vlog the whole experience.
Hell yeah.
But yes, on here is Saruda.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of experimental like bass.
We've had him
West
as
Coast.
our one of our intro songs before. Saruda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's tight.
Him, Zoo. I don't think I've seen Zoo. So it's like kind of this deep house, melodic kind of
Zuzu?
vibe.
Like, baby.
Yeah.
I'm faded. That guy?
He's
Oh.
on the first day. Z Trip. And then for people that don't know, DJ Diesel, that is Shaq.
Shaquille
O'Neal.
O'Neal.
And he plays all dubstep.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's on the 3rd day. Yeah, right here. DJ
Yeah.
Diesel.
He's right under Black
Sunday,
Jesus.
right under Black Jesus.
Dude, it's so funny to show lineups like this to people that don't know EDM so they see the names.
Yeah.
Like there's fucking
Loco Dice. Don't know who that is. Nitty Gritty.
I listen to
Nitty Gritty?
Nitty Gritty
Uh-huh.
just because I kept seeing him on podcasts because like he just got a Grammy nomination
Okay.
or a win actually.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And I don't really care for his music.
Me
much.
neither. Yeah, I don't really like it either.
I'm sure he's a good lad, but not into
Yeah,
it.
not huge.
let's
This
see.
12th Planet throwback set might be fun, huh?
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I've thought about that for a while. Like, why don't more DJs, since it's like 10 years from when like they started, like
Right.
to play that old music?
Right.
He's doing that. Liquid Stranger at his Wakan festival, like his own label.
Yeah.
He did a throwback set
Okay.
because he has so many songs.
Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't do that as like a producer who has had all these good songs and you've had all these years of like just developing your catalog. Like I don't know how you wouldn't be able to just not play those anymore. Just even as a desire of wanting to like play them.
Well, I would just think they might be just embarrassed, like of the quality of their music at that time to compare
Maybe.
it to.
Maybe.
So
I think it might have to do with something like it's a inward reflection of like them always wanting to like come out with like new, bigger, better things and like not wanting to maybe like look at the old stuff. Kind of like, oh, I've already done that. Like that's in the past. So I could see how it could be like that. But I just feel like EDM music is so different than just regular performance art because you have that availability and that freedom to play whatever you want. Like I could play Cher if I wanted to, right? Like you could play whatever you want as a DJ. Whereas like as a performer, like they're coming and paying tickets to see you perform maybe your newest tour, like your newest CD, your newest album or like whatever. And then you got to play like some of your major hits. But like that's kind of what you got to do because that's what they're paying money to see. Whereas like a DJ, they're just paying to go dance and to go like see whatever it is that you play. Like you have absolutely full creative freedom. So it's like, I think I would like if I was like actually like DJing all the time and stuff like that. Like I would like be playing some of my old stuff. Because
Yeah,
some
for
of the
sure.
old stuff is like, even though it's not the best sounding stuff, you could just throw that in there every now and then and still like kind of blow some minds, especially these guys with like their catalogs, you know?
Well, and then throwback. I mean, that might mean like his old stuff, but then
Other
also like
people's.
old like stuff because Smog, they started in like 2008 or something like
Yeah.
that. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
old heaters.
He doesn't really do Smog anymore, huh?
No, he's just Disciple.
Disciple. The very first LA club show that I went to was 12th Planet.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, that was sick. That was really fun. I had never been to like a club before.
It's funny thinking back because it's like so long now. Like of people that you saw
Yeah.
that were a lot of times. Like for me, it was just like a typical like, what are you doing this
Yeah.
Thursday? Let's go to Havoc on in Santa Ana
Right.
at the
Yost.
Yost. See Rusco,
Yeah.
who's like a legend, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah. We
Yeah.
saw so many people at that. It's cool. It's cool that like we have like a spot that we can kind of speak to that is like no longer there.
yeah,
know,
it's
that-
like a forbidden place.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm people that are into electronic music as long as we were,
Yeah.
like they know the place too.
Right. For
So
sure.
they're like, oh, dude, remember that?
Yeah, I remember that place.
They say like they describe it the same way.
Yeah.
All these got real rowdy towards
Yeah.
the end, and security guards were getting in fights with
Yeah.
people. And, yeah, it was
Yeah,
wild.
some wild nights. Yeah, that was like the first time that I got to go backstage anywhere for Panda Funk for YL. That was cool. Just to kind of like just experience like backstage, see what it was like. And then damn, who else did we see there? We saw Okay there. Saw
okay. We saw Keizo. Looney
Keizo.
Tunes were in the same.
Keizo and
That was when
Looney
he was
Tunes.
starting to headline.
Yeah.
2016, I think.
Yeah.
But I saw Rusco. I saw Trop Killers, who's like drum and bass from like the UK, but they played
Yeah.
like halftime.
Yeah.
We saw Valentino Khan,
Yeah.
Delta Heavy, Dirty Phonics, the TJR.
Oh
that was,
yeah.
that was cool. You went there. though.
Yeah.
And then I saw.
For a while there, you were going
forget.
every Thursday.
Yeah,
Because you were
well,
going more.
every-
Because you were going more frequent than me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Just because I had people that wanted to go too all
Going
the time,
every
so.
single time. Yeah. Because I remember you would text me like, "Yo, you want to go?" And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna hold back." And I'm gonna hold back. And then there would be like every now and then would be like, "Okay, I could go." You know, like
Well, and then you weren't really into dubstep like I was getting into dubstep too. So it wasn't you
Yeah.
weren't really into going to bass shows. You were
Right.
getting in a house.
yeah, it's just a different vibe. Well, and I had done it already too. You know, as I at that time that you were like starting to go in, like I was trying to like or like dial back on the amount of shows that I was going to and kind of like hold out for shows that like I really wanted to go to because like money was kind of becoming an issue.
Yeah.
I was kind of throwing my life away there for a second with all these shows that we were going to. But yeah, it's just because it's like every single show, it's not just the ticket, you know? It's like a full blown pregame, after party, drinks there, whatever it is, you know, it ends up being like a $200 night depending on what it is.
Like just thinking like that people would just do that like once or twice a year at a festival.
Yeah.
We would do that almost every week.
I know.
I'm just thinking and like thinking like to them like of like how maybe like dramatic as an experience was like to be under the influence and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then if they were to just see us doing that all the time,
Yeah.
yeah, it would just be a big old reflection.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, but we came out on top.
came out on top.
Came out on top. Let's see. We also got this Coachella lineup to kind of look at too.
From last year.
'Cause
This is the last year one.
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
Because
I don't think it happened.
it didn't. It did not happen. Because I just bought tickets for this next upcoming year. So I'm curious what you think. Do you think that they're going to have a majority of these guys on there, or do you think that it's going to be like, you know what, let's reevaluate, let's do something different?
No, I think so for sure. Just seeing it all the past festivals that have happened
Yeah.
that were rescheduled. It's like
Completely
almost all the
different.
same.
Oh, it's all the
No,
same?
it's all the same. Like
Interesting.
basically all the same. And you got to think, kind of like we talked about before. I don't know when, but how a lot of artists owe studios their wealth,
Right.
like to make the money back, and
Right.
to do that by shows and festivals.
Right.
So I'm seeing this, and like, man, these are deadful people.
Right.
Like that are
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
Rage Against the Machine, but like
Yeah.
you know, these upcoming artists,
Right.
and maybe not Travis Scott, but like people that have been kind of just starting to get these headline shows for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're dancing for their money.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited because if it does stay like this, I mean, Rage Against the Machine, number one, obviously, I'm going to be so stoked to see. And then I'm excited to see Flume because he just came out with a bunch of that new stuff, and I'm hoping he's going to have some more new stuff. Frank Ocean, just because it's Frank Ocean. Everybody's been
Frankie.
Frank. They like Frank. Everybody likes Frank.
I don't think I've listened to Frank Ocean.
Really?
I'm sure I have.
I'm sure you have.
I can't think of it.
He's like part of the whole Tyler the Creator crew. That whole what is it, like odd future? Yeah, Odd Future. So yeah, I think that'll be interesting. Everybody's all into him. So I'm excited for that. What else we got in here? We got
Lana. I'd be interested to see Lana.
I've seen Lana twice.
It was okay. Like you
It was
saw,
good. It
you
was
saw,
good.
but you wouldn't.
It was good. It's just like it's a vibe changer. You know what I'm saying? Because you're
It's very slow.
very slow,
right?
very slow.
Na, na,
Yeah,
na,
and
na,
you know, it's like okay.
na.
Daniel Caesar, he's also going to be very slow, but so is Frank Ocean though. So Sunday might just be the slow day. That might be the slow dance of the wedding. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is Lil Nas X? Is that the one that did the Devil song?
Yeah, the little black gay cowboy.
Interesting.
Am I allowed to say that on here? That's what he is, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, he's being honest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. JID, Denzel Curry.
Duck sauce.
Those guys go hard. Duck Sauce. They always play Coachella.
I haven't
They
seen
always
them.
be up in Coachella. The Baby's going to be there. I know Charlie's going to be happy for that. Travis Scott, 21 Savage. So it'll be interesting to see who stays here and then who gets the boot and then who's added. I'm hoping it's pretty much the same because I'm pretty cool with it. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
As is.
I'd want to see Grizz. Grizz is a electronic producer. It's kind of like Pretty Lights. Has that soulful vibe and has jazz into with his bass music. And he plays a saxophone.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that'd be sick.
Omar Apollo. I've been listening to that guy a lot. He's tight. I got into him because he was on Kenny Beats's The Cave. And yeah, he just has some dope music. So
when you see this, you see a lot of rap per se, hip hop.
it's kind of all over the place, to be honest. Because Omar Apollo is not rap. He like plays the bass, the guitar. He's kind of a singer. He's more R&B. And then JID, Denzel Curry, they're rap. The Baby's rap. Travis Scott's rap. 21 Savage. Joji's gonna be there. He's that Asian dude that we've talked about. Freddie Gibbs plus Madlib. That's gonna be crazy.
Have you ever seen Cashmere Cat?
I have. I saw him at the Porter Robinson show.
I thought it was a girl.
Yeah,
Isn't it? Wait,
he has long hair. He kind of looks like Saruta.
Yes. Well, I saw.
It literally
him,
like looks like that.
No, I saw him at what is it? That place in Costa Mesa. It was the small place that we saw Dr. P.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it though.
God damn it!
Look it up on your phone real quick.
I don't know how to search. Costa Mesa Club.
Costa Mesa
Observatory.
Club. Observatory.
Santa Ana.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the place in
No.
Newport.
I went there with Cole, but no one referred to as he or she.
It was just Cashmere Cat.
Yeah, so this whole, no disrespect, but this whole time I thought it was a girl.
Yeah.
That's how little I know about
Yeah.
her. I just know that
He
got big.
produces for a lot of people. He's more of like a
like a Tame Impala. Well, not more like
No, not like a Tame
like that.
Impala. I would say he's more like a oh, what's his name? Um, like Carnage. You know how like he'll like produce for a bunch of people and then it's just kind of like, and then he'll put his name on there though, but he just produced it and it's just like a bunch of rappers, or kind of like a Freddie Beats. I'm sorry, Kenny Beats, where he's just like he's on the track, but he's not really in the track. He's just the producer of it. So I feel like he kind of does that a lot.
Does he produce hip hop?
It's kind of like pop hip hop, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. But then it's like he uses a lot of like organic sounds. Like so it's more like drum-ish more than like sound design. I mean,
I would have to
yeah.
take a gander.
It didn't when we saw him at Porter, his set was the most quiet. And I don't know if that was like a reflection of his masters and like and how good of a producer he was, but like G Jones was like the loudest. And then Cashmere Cat played and it was like oh, like it was just like dead. Like you were just the energy was off like compared to G Jones.
It was after G Jones?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then Maddion came on and his stuff sounded good like but it wasn't as loud as G Jones, but the vibe and the energy was there, and especially it was like the sunset, so it was fine. And then Porter went on and again his was loud, but like I think because of G Jones's sound design and the use of silence, you know, and he just has everything so tight, like everything's just warped like to perfection. It just makes it sound loud. And it's shocking, you know? So yeah, so it's like so with when you have like a Cashmere Cat, then Maddion, and then Porter, and it's very like synthy kind of stuff, or just like you're just like I wish that G Jones would have closed out that set. Just because I was just
if you knew.
I was overwhelmed and then I was underwhelmed 3 times.
Yeah. That's just crazy to think like that actually happened.
Yeah.
Right? Like if they just took G Jones out of there, like you wouldn't have even thought of like we wouldn't be talking about this.
No, not
like,
at
you
all.
just happened to get in there. I think just because I think the mere fact that G Jones just has some melodic features.
Yes.
And that it's just unique and fresh. So I'm sure Porter hit that. And he has a following, like a big following. So
yeah. Well, and I, you know, to Porter's credit, like he's every artist that he gets on all of his like his bills, like they're all kind of different. You know, like it's not like he's not curating a festival for what he thinks people would like to hear. He's like making a festival based off like this type of stuff that he likes to listen to. And he listens to like a bunch of different stuff, which I think is cool because you can go to that show and get a bass music experience and also have like some melodic stuff. And then because he's like on his newest one, he's having this like he's a pop producer. His name's like Jacob Colbert or something like that. And he's this crazy like piano musician from England or from the UK. And he does a lot of production for like pop vocalists, and he doesn't really perform his own stuff. And so he's performing there. So I thought that was really interesting.
They announced for the fall. It's like isn't Rez on, or did they have?
No, like that was the that was the online one. So this is the why is it? So this is the lineup for Second Sky for or maybe what? Oh, maybe it is for this year.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing it. Oh,
Like
shoot.
for the fall. I
Yeah,
think.
for the fall. You're right. You are absolutely right.
Oh, this
Get out
is.
of here. Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
So it's Maddion, J Wolf,
Jai Wolf,
Toro Imoy, John Hopkins, and then Jacob Collier, or however he pronounces that name. That's the guy that I was talking about. Wave Dasher, Knower, and
I think Wave Dasher has just been.
Wave Dasher's
like dubstep, right?
No,
Isn't he?
they're more.
Or
They're
he was.
they're. It's 3 guys, and they kind of make like portery stuff. That's the best way I know to describe it. You know, like it's like people trying to sound like
melodic, like
melodic, like granular,
Yeah.
like stuff.
Yeah.
Like I guess
It's just it's just trying to sound like Porter. Like that's the best way I can describe it.
it's crazy how like he's just kind of coined that. Like it's like there's only one way you could go to be like melodic and
Yeah.
like rainy, and it's like Porter did that. So
Yeah.
like that's like the freeway
Yeah.
underpass that you have to
Yeah.
go through.
But like the thing that you could do, I think, as a producer, is to take like his elements and then like incorporate it into your own. You just can't have it be the majority of that, because I feel like sometimes Flume has his sound too. Like you're trying to sound flumy, and his is like a portery kind of sound, but more wobble to it, and it has more filtering, and then it has more sound design.
Yeah, it has a way more effects. Like it has a lot of flangers,
And then and his whole thing is his swing, his like off tempo kind of stuff.
he has a lot of pitch bending too, where
Yeah.
like it's like he has like orchestras like singing very high pitched, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
a lot of that.
So like, but you could argue that Porter uses some, especially like in Wallfuck, like that was like a, you could have Porter. Or I'm sorry.
Flume.
Yeah. You could have argued that like that kind of stuff was kind of like portery with the chords. You know what I'm saying? But like that was a Porter element used in a flumy way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the chords were very grainy, bright, wide. And then the thing that changed from sounding like Porter that made it sound more flumy was the vocal sample. The so like that made it sound flumy just in that sense. But the whatever those chords were, that sounded very portery to me.
Yeah. I think using that term, like it's like Porter
Yeah.
or whatever, or like Flume.
Yeah.
I think you could communicate it like that where people would get it.
Yeah.
But ultimately like that, but they got an influence from something else.
Something else. Yeah.
So what makes that different, I think, is just the detail into the sound design. Like you could just tell that there was just so much time and effort into just like a 1 bar loop or something like that.
You're talking about for Flume?
Like that's what I think of when I hear like, oh, this person's trying to sound like Flume.
Yeah.
Because they're like using a lot of textures and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it's not a simple progressive house beat or something like that.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like accurate, but like I kind of see why. Like like what really
you
that
understand what the definition of that is and why.
Because some people might just be like, oh, it's like uplifting. Oh, Porter.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah.
Or like Flume, like or future, like it's future based. Oh, it's Flume.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how he kind of coined that term, huh? Like future.
Yeah, and it got huge.
It got so huge. It got oversaturated. Because I was on that for a while. Like all my music was sounding. I went from going like house to like future to like hip hop. And now I'm trying to rebuild.
trying to like else.
Well, I think that like I like all of the elements that I've gained or like that I've understood and that I've learned from each one of those genres. So now it's like fusing them all together to be able to make stuff like randomly, like whenever I want. You know what I'm saying? And especially after working with like instrumentalists now, I've realized that I enjoy working with instrumentalists more than I do constructing a song on my own. And
you
then
need direction, some sort of direction.
It's not that I need the direction, it's that I like having the musicality aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Because like if I have a music, like let's just say I have like a 4-bar chord structure and it sounds really, really nice, then I'm able to construct some like experimental production on top of that, and it makes it like sound good. Whereas like if I had just this experimental production, then I try to get like a guitarist in on it, like it would be kind of like, oh well, like this doesn't really mesh well together because I have to play over this weird kind of like sounding stuff. So like the direction is the tone is set by the musicality, and then I can kind of construct around it. And I like that's why I liked doing the misstep stuff so much, because I was able to take Jacob's musicality and song structures, and then kind of build around it and get weird with sounds and that fit like the core structure of the song.
Yeah.
So, but that's just kind of like
Yeah,
what I
that
like.
makes sense. I think, well, that's why I think it's good to collaborate, right? Because
Yeah.
you get into your own head and it's kind of puts you on the spot. So, like, whenever I would do something with someone else, it's almost like it's my time to almost to flaunt or
Right.
to be like, what do I do best?
Yeah.
So I'll try to do that.
Yeah.
And then when you get like affirmation, like, oh, that was
Yeah.
tight or something like that, then it kind of just
Boosts
feeds
you up.
feed your ego, which you kind of need,
Yes.
because if your ego isn't massaged or whatnot,
Yeah.
then you're not going to be motivated to finish anything.
Well, and then you get insecure and you're like, oh, well, like, and then you start doubting yourself, and that's the whole cool thing with like working with good people who are uplifting of you is like, you can tell when somebody's a good collaborator because they understand that too, and I feel like I like to showcase that too, especially like when I work with you or say like Chayu or my friend Daniel Christoph, like I'll always be vocal about like, oh dude, that was sick, or oh, I like that, because sometimes as a producer too, like you kind of get lost in the sauce of like, well, I can go this way or I can go that way or I can do this with this, and then sometimes you just need somebody to tell you like, whoa, wait, go back, like that one thing that you did right there, like that sounded really good, don't touch that, let's use that somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then unless somebody would have said that, then you're like, you would have kept going. But because they said that, then you're like, oh yeah, it does sound cool. So then you stop and then you're able to like move on to something else, which in a way is an addition to that production, because if you wouldn't have had that input, you would have just kind of kept going. And so unless you guys are being vocal with each other in the collaborative process, when you're in the chair or when he's in the chair, or when I'm in the chair, like whatever, you can't be on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes you got to, let them like give them space.
Yeah.
There's a happy dance to there. But like for the most part, like if you hear something like as a collaborator, like I like it when they're vocal. Like if I do something and somebody's like, oh dude, like that was sick. Like you should keep that. Like don't touch that no more. It's like, oh, okay.
No, like I know to sometimes say a comment and I'm not looking for anything back for you to be like, oh really? Oh
Yeah.
thanks. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that was like if like you're working on Ableton and then I just hear I'm like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
Like just so I know that now that you heard it, so
Yeah.
then you could that could keep going
Yeah.
with your process.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of times, I know with me too, it's like, am I like, is this fucking working?
Yeah.
Like, just say if it is or not, and
Yeah.
then I could probably stop this and do something else, be more productive.
Right.
I was listening to a podcast with Mr. Bill, and he was saying that like he's learned that a good like being a productive producer is mostly or maybe in a lot of ways saying when not to do something. So it's like you being like, oh, I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to do this. So it's a lot of saying no and not doing certain things.
Right.
Which I think I'm at a point now or right now, just where I'm mostly doing the things that sound good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure with someone of how many tracks like he's made and how diverse his tracks are.
Yeah.
I think he probably just has all this knowledge of like, I know what could be good.
Yeah.
So I got to filter it out to just that one thing.
Right.
Which
I gotta go around
which
it.
is nuts because
Yeah.
I'm not at that level at all.
Yeah, but that's just years and years. And that dude, he's so fortunate because his entire career is based around like trying new things with different softwares and different hardware and like getting new sounds.
Mhm.
Like that's it. Like his YouTube is based off of it. This guy's name is Mr. Bill, and he, correct me if I'm wrong, but he started off as like a YouTube tutorial person, right?
I don't. So I mean, basically, but
Yeah.
he started putting out music and started touring like
Way before that?
around the same time, but like
Okay.
a little before that.
But I
Yeah,
think that's what kind of probably
Yeah, that's
like
how he
blew
that's
him
how
up.
That's how because he was in Australia, so it's
Uh.
not that big of a scene
Right.
at that time anyway.
And this dude, I mean, talk about seeing a transformation and evolution from his first couple of, YouTube videos where he was trying to give you some Ableton insight and all this stuff to like now, like he's still doing these tutorials, and you would think like he's out of tricks in his bag, you know, to be able to share. And he's just constantly coming up with like new ways of, oh, I did this with this and do this with this and with and he uses these tools that are not supposed to be used in this specific way, and he just creates these really cool sounding things. And then for his genre, which is like an experimental bass music genre, it's just, you know, this is all he gets to do. So you got to think the amount of hours that this guy puts in, you know, that's what he has to come up with is, yo, like I got to be able to like say no, you know, like, cause he's too smart. Like he has too many tricks in his bag. So that's just a time thing.
Yeah.
He's just fortunate.
I hope I get to that point.
Yeah. You will. You just gotta keep at it, because you gotta think that guy can produce on Cubase, Logic, Pro Tools, Ableton, you know, Fruity Loops. And then if you brought up Serum, if you brought up Massive, if you brought up any, you know, DAW, he could figure it out. You
even
know,
if he has never touched it, he could just like, oh well, I mean, this probably does this,
right,
which will do this.
He has a complete tech mindset, and that's similar to like the way I look at like maybe like a Dead Mouse 2, when it's having to do with like hardware and patching and mixing and mastering. Because even though he makes like progressive house dance music, he's a good mixing and mastering engineer, so he knows the techniques as to what he's actually doing, and he can tell you why. You know what I'm saying? So if he had to produce a hip hop or a pop song or whatever, he could still mix and master it correctly and it would sound good because he knows why. It's not just like, oh, I tried it and it sounded good. Like he actually knows, you know, the reasons why he's doing what he's doing just through years of experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think those two guys are like kind of like neck and neck in terms of that, even though they're not the same, they're like kind of are, you know, in terms of their education on their engineering side. Because those guys, I look at like as straight engineers. I would call them engineers before they are like producers.
Yeah,
I think
and producer is like a close second,
right?
basically.
Yeah. Like, because like they obviously are super creative and they do have musicality, you know, and abilities to put out nice tunes. But like first and foremost, I think that they would be engineers. I think their engineering game is just so high quality.
Well, and Mr. Bill, like he went to music or audio engineering college, but he even says like he really didn't learn what he thought like he needed to learn. Like he just learned on his own.
Right.
And he doesn't really know music theory. And if you hear his stuff, like it's very musical.
Yeah.
So it was him just, you know, just
messing around.
Just finding basic chords and arpeggiators, and then doing those tricks that he'll do tutorials about of just rendering audio.
Right.
So again, like he just did a bunch of stuff and like, oh, this sounds good. And it makes people think that like he's actually like a musical genius.
Right.
When he's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Fake it till you make it. Right.
For real.
Speaking of faking it till you make it, Logan Paul faked being a boxer. But not really, because he actually got to do it. And we should probably talk about it for a second, these last couple minutes here. We don't have to watch this whole thing, but I did want to bring this up because these are the stats. Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. 217 thrown punches by Mr. Paul and 107 by Mayweather.
Yeah, that's pretty what I think people would predict.
Yeah, especially this young. He's like what, 20 years younger than Mayweather? Something like that. Punches landed, however, 28 for Mr. Paul and 43 for Mayweather. So the percentage is 40% to Floyd Mayweather and 13% for Logan Paul.
Yeah, I don't know what the average punchage like percentage is, but 13%. Yeah, you're not gonna beat a guy with that, even though it was just expedition.
Yeah.
That it wasn't like a win or loss kind of thing, which I didn't know about until just yesterday, right before the fight. And I didn't watch the fight. I was working.
Right. Yeah, I didn't watch it either. We watched the highlights, and I mean, look at this record though, right here. This dude's. I think this is crazy that he even got this fight, because his career pro boxing record is 0-1. And the only credibility he has is his 20 million social media subscribers.
Well, it's like
That's
it's
it.
why he's there.
Right. And then you got this guy over here, 50-0. 12 world titles. I can't talk right now. 12 world titles in 5 different weight classes, 130 to 154. And he's elected into International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2021 class.
Well, I think like the main reason why this was even really like, I guess,
A possibility?
like a reason why people were interested is because of the gap.
Yeah.
You know, just because like, oh, this is just a kid that people just want him to lose, or for some people, like they just want his fate, like they want him to be stricken right, like of like this is not your sport.
Right.
But be honest, I wasn't really too like
Excited about. No, neither was I.
Well, and then like we're just fortunate now that there's just these YouTube highlights like get posted like the day after. So I'm like,
I knew I was going to be able to like see the exact amount that I was going to need to watch. I mean, I knew it was going to be like a boring, like not skilled fighter being like kind of just not tossed around, because I didn't think Floyd was going to be aggressive, but I thought Floyd was going to do exactly what he did, which was play that defensive, just kind of, and then just pop him in wherever he seemed fit. Out. Yeah, exactly. Because if you watch the highlights, I mean, not even into the third round, maybe like third round, second round, like Paul already looks exhausted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's like hunched over and his hair is
drenched. Well, the first round, he just came blazing, like just
like an ape, just
like nonstop. Yeah, just while like Floyd was defending himself.
Yeah.
But I'm just not super excited about watching boxing in general.
Yeah.
I think just because I watched more UFC when I was growing up to boxing, I didn't watch any boxing. So from going from that to that, it's just not that exciting if I know no one's really going to bleed that much.
Right. No, I agree. And especially the way that they officiate boxing, and the official like allows you time to like get up and everything, you know, and compared to like UFC where it's like you kill him until the ref says like no more, right?
Yeah,
like,
while your wife is watching.
Yeah, and your little son. But yeah, so the I don't know, the do or die kind of like environment is just not there. So it's like,
yeah.
And I've yet to see a very skilled boxer fight a very skilled boxer. So that that's another thing. Like I've never actually watched like a good boxing match, because like Conor McGregor and Mayweather, like he's not a boxer. So that's not really a good one. And then these stupid exhibition games like the YouTuber ones, like this is not real boxing.
Yeah, you're just waiting for the final results.
Yeah. Like, so
now when you watch real boxing, then it's more like chess. You're seeing how the game plans are adapting to each other and whatnot.
Correct.
But it's still,
still kind of boring.
Yeah,
still kind of boring.
So
I agree.
So all this hoopla about this stuff, I'm just
yeah, you're like, who cares?
It's like I care enough to watch the highlights to probably have a really shallow opinion about it.
Right.
Yeah, no, Mayweather was going to win this whole time.
Yeah.
Or this, like, but I don't care too much.
Yeah. You got so much other stuff going on.
No, I mean, something crazy would have to happen, which is kind of sad, It's like, punched him like while he was down or something. It's like, what? Let me look at that. But yeah, you think like, I forget how many people or how much they made on the pay-per-view. It wasn't nearly as much as like a real fight or the McGregor fight.
No.
But it's like there's people that purchased with their money to watch this.
Yes.
And did they have like other fights going on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between like real boxers?
I think so.
Not YouTube, smaller YouTubes and smaller boxers.
Yeah, they had old ex-Viners.
People that just have 1,000
Twitter famous people.
Someone that just has 1,000 views.
Yeah, exactly. Versus a 50 view. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not into the whole gimmicky thing.
I'm not either.
Because
I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I know too
scripted.
Much. We all know too much.
Yeah. So it's just like, and then you got real stuff going on. Like you got like, hockey playoffs going on. So it's like, I'm paying way more attention to that compared
For sure.
to like
Oh yeah, it's
compared to this.
way more entertaining.
This is a gnarly postseason for
Well,
hockey. And then they had like
yeah.
that hit. You see that hit on Winnipeg?
Winnipeg on Montreal. Yeah.
This dude, what was his name? Scheifele?
That's a Winnipeg dude. Yeah, the guy got suspended for 4 games for charging.
How does he spell his name?
Is that it right there?
Yeah. Scheifele. This dude got laid out.
Canadians are going to clear. Evans is going to get down there first. The net is empty. Can he tuck it in? He does. Pays a first. The net is empty. Can he tuck it in? He does.
Ooh.
Pays a price, but scores the goal.
So that goal or that hit happened at the very, very end of the game. They were up 2-1 or something like that. They were up by like 1 goal. And or 4-3. And they had just scored. So they were like all pumped up. And this guy was back checking.
Along with everyone else.
Along with everybody else. And this forward had his head down and he laid him out. And he got suspended 4 games for it.
Yeah. I think if he would have gotten up, like it just looks bad because I think he went on a stretcher, right?
Yeah, they took him on a stretcher.
Yeah, like he was out.
Yeah, he was out cold.
But he was moving.
Yeah.
Right? So like he wasn't unconscious.
I think they were just doing it as a safety precaution, you know?
Do you think like they say like, hey, like just to sell this a little bit?
No.
Like just don't move.
No way.
We're gonna bring the stretcher out.
No way. But if you saw this in slow motion, this dude he goes upside down.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like
tossed him.
he's straight upside down.
But he didn't. I mean, it's like it's unfortunate.
Yes,
but you need to have like someone's trying to take your head off,
right?
Because the whole team doesn't want you to score,
right?
So you have to because he could have still like, if he had his head up, he still could have
right.
Knocked it off
and in the I think it was like the following day. Scheifele, he had a conference, and the first thing he said was, "Look, like first and foremost, like I'm praying for a quick recovery. You know, like it's unfortunate that he got hurt, but you know this is the game that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of you know the cost. You know, and I was trying to save a goal." And so then they went into like breaking it down and stuff. And he was actually calling out like all the fans because he was basically saying like, you know, like I'm a grown man, like I can take like, you know, hate from like fans or whatever, but like I guess his wife and his family and his parents were getting like death threats and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know, and like they don't deserve that. So like, you know, you guys need to chill out on all that. And so I thought that was pretty crazy. I didn't think hockey got that much.
Yeah, I don't follow Spin Chicklets, which is a Barstool podcast on hockey.
Yeah,
it's 3 guys, and they seems like in the last couple of years or so, they bring up like a bunch of like Twitter, social media oriented stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just like flabbergasting because I think it's not like a big deal, but then because it does get to the point where it's like some people get threatened and some people, and you don't know what could happen, so it's not like you could ignore it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's crazy.
Well, and then it's dealing with people most of the time it's people getting hurt by other players like Tom Wilson or whatever.
Right.
So then it becomes this very like it's like a defense mechanisms. Like you try to kill my player, per se.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna try to kill your wife, in bed.
These freaking sports fans are crazy.
Which I don't think is a big deal. But then I wonder if this is just going to put pressure on the league to really minimize like more serious hitting like that. Because if they give them the incentive, like this is going to cost you like a 10-game suspension to just do this, people aren't going to You do
Well, and
cheating
maybe
like
that's
that.
what that suspension was for. Do you know what I'm
It's
saying? It's like it's
It's
just
an example.
Yeah, exactly. It's 4 games in the playoffs, and he's one of their best players. So they're pretty much done for though. They're down 3-0.
Winnipeg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty much done for. This entire postseason has been so exciting to watch. I've been
So much hate.
yeah
Just because these teams, because they're still playing in the conference, because they haven't been able to play other conferences because of COVID.
yeah
So they've been playing each other like 12 times.
yeah
So there's just so much bad blood
yeah
on both sides. So like it's not surprising you see
yeah
things like this happen.
yeah for sure. But it's been super exciting. I'm excited. The Lakers are out of the running.
Oh,
They
yeah,
got got knocked out. So like that was
So I haven't paid attention. I just saw the first game, it the wild card game against Oakland?
yeah
I saw
yeah.
that. And then I just haven't
They
really heard about what's going on.
they played Phoenix in the first round, and they lost 4-2, I think, or 4-1. And there was a meme that was going on the internet, and it was like hockey players after like a series loss or whatever, and it's like them shaking hands because that's like the tradition. Every team shakes hands after every single series in the playoffs, and LeBron James walked to the locker room like before the game even ended. This time around, just like, dude, grow up. You're an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
show some respect.
Don't they always do that too? Like
They're just
basketball players
they're
as
just
well.
crybabies though. Like, I wish Charlie was here to maybe like speak something to it, but I just like they glorify that guy so much. Like, and let's be real. He's one of the greatest players like to ever play the game, like no doubt. But like, you're like at that leadership role now. You're old. You're about to like retire soon. Like, you got wisdom now. You need to show leadership. And he was pouting the whole time. And I get it. Like, one of their best players was hurt, so it was basically just him, like, trying to have to carry the team, and none of his teammates were like helping out. Like, they like it was crazy. Like, I watched a couple games. I mean, because they got blown out the last like 2 games. It was like 30 point deficits. I mean, it was bad. But any single chance that the Lakers would get, I mean, it was a complete shit show. Like, nothing was going in. Like, every single opportunity was just thrown away. And so he was getting pissed, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? But as like a leader of the team, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be giving the other team credit. Like, they outplayed you guys. They were the better team. Go over there, shake a hand, wish them good luck, and be on your way. You're going to be back next year. You know what I'm saying? And he just kind of walked away like a crybaby. So
I'd have to look at that
Yeah.
footage. That sucks. Well, I wonder too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised too because like he's just so unwrapped in the league that where like he's forced to apologize.
Nah,
I could see that happen.
I just think he likes the drama, and he knows how to like.
attention.
Yeah.
I saw this little video of I forget what it might have been the first game or two.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of the next time he got like injured,
Okay.
and there was a scrum that was happening. So like he got hurt, he was on the ground, and then there was a scrum happening, and this guy I think it was a podcast or something, and he was like commentating. He's like, as soon as there was a scrum happening, and he saw that the tension wasn't on him anymore, he tried to walk, which like he tried to walk through it. He just got right up and when he was like down and whatnot. Yeah, I don't like that about it.
Yeah.
About that stuff. So
Yeah, I was talking with Dad about just like hockey versus like other sports, and because when I was in Seattle, they put on the soccer game while I was watching the hockey game, but the hockey game was like, it was already like 4-0, so like it is what it is. Like, they're the home team. Everybody literally was there to watch the soccer game at the bar, so I was like, I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. And the very first play, dude, I kid you not, like this dude like just flops and is like holding his ankle, and I'm like, oh, like this is why I can't watch this sport, because they don't try to make a play out of a bad situation. They try to flop to get possession, so then that's their advantage. And it's kind of like the same with basketball, in my opinion, because again, you're coming from like a hockey background, so you're literally you don't give up on the play unless the whistle's blown, and even if you get hit, the only thing that you might embellish in hockey is a high stick. I think that's like one of the only things that, like, me personally, like I would throw my head back at times, because sometimes it's just a reaction because you're like, whoa, like, something's in my face, so like that one you kind of embellish. And then, like, if you're getting hooked, like, there's times where, like, it's not even an embellishment. It's just, like, your body is, like, thrown. So it's, like, the amount of embellishment in hockey versus the amount of embellishment in soccer and sometimes basketball. Like, I think it's crazy that, like, when you shoot the basketball and on your follow-through, like, the ball's already out of your hand. And on your follow-through, like, if a guy taps your hand, like, that's a foul. And like,
so like on a free throw?
No. Like, just like, say like you're defending me, and I like throw the ball, but like you hit my hand, like that's a foul.
Oh, I guess it's too easy, right?
I mean,
like,
and maybe I'm wrong on what that rule is, but I'm pretty sure, like, Charlie would probably correct me on, well, it's not that, but yeah, but like, you can't really touch people.
Well,
it's not like a contact sport, even though it kind of is at times, which is weird. Like, you could set a pick, right, which is completely like interference. Like, you can interfere, but like you can't touch. I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Well, it's strange that those sports like basketball and soccer, they have specific penalties for embellishment, like for that. Yeah, but they choose not to. It's like they set the bar of like,
super.
Well, this isn't that fakey.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So like, I would be interested to talk to someone that's like into soccer or someone that really knows. Or I'm sure there's a documentary about it.
Probably.
Maybe we could do a whole like 3 hours on it.
Yeah, it's hard to watch that sport for me just because of that fact. It has nothing to do with like the skill level or the interest that I have in soccer. It's just I can't watch them just flop all the time and then just get right back up.
And nobody takes a knee.
Nobody.
That's so disrespectful. You should take a fucking knee.
They teach you in AYSO.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Little kid's crying for his mommy.
Yeah.
You just sit down. You play, like, I'd play with the grass. I'd find a ladybug. I'd find something to do.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
All right, dude, I got to skedaddle.
Oh, yeah?
I got to serve people some ribs.
Oh, it's already 4:30. 3:41? All right. Yeah, no worries. All right, man. Well, thank you for tuning in, y'all. As always, like, subscribe, share, follow. You know the drill.
Donate.
We appreciate the viewership. We appreciate the support. Thank you always. Big Small Talks out.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.